Iran wanted talks up until then to gather strength to fight again more effectively in the future. That's the only reason why they wanted to sit down. Meanwhile, Trump is thinking, oh, he's going to win the Nobel Prize because he's going to be the first guy to make Iran make peace. Iran will make peace, sure, but they will break the agreement. It will only be temporary, and they will only use it to buy time because they're losing. What we should do is understand that when they say, yeah, we'll talk, yeah, let's make a truce, that's when we should fight all the more to defeat them, because that's an admission, a tacit admission that they are losing.
The United States is continuing negotiating with Iran. Do you believe that negotiating with this regime is a mistake? Does Iran ever negotiate in good faith?
It's a big mistake, and Iran never negotiates in good faith. Remember, I said the 12 Shiites invented taqiyya as a doctrine. It is an important element of Shiite Islam. And it is a 12 Shiite regime in power in Tehran. It would seem to me, if I were in the State Department, I would say, you want to understand the Islamic Republic of Iran? Study 12 Shiite Islam. That ought to be basic, but it's not. Nobody in the State Department knows the first foggiest thing about 12 Shiite Islam or Islam at all. You go to Tehran, you go to the statements of the Ayatollah Khamenei, the one who was just killed, or his predecessor, the Ayatollah Khomeini, who founded the Islamic Republic of Iran, or to Mojtaba Khamenei, who may be dead also, but is officially the supreme leader right now. Every one of their statements about Israel is all about Islam. They explain their hostility to Israel on the basis of Islam. The Palestinians explain their hostility to Israel on the basis of Islam. Read the Hamas charter. Read the PLO charter. It's all Islam, Islam, Islam. The Quran says this, etc. The State Department, presidents of the United States, in making agreements between Israel and the Palestinians, have never once mentioned Islam. They never take it into account. It's a massive failure to understand the enemy, to follow the first adage of warfare going back to Sun Tzu, which is, I don't know, you know the guy, in The Art of War. And he says, know your enemy. It's very basic. You don't know your enemy, you're going to lose. And this is where we are. They will not honor an agreement because there are only two conditions in Islamic law under which you can make an agreement with an infidel army that you're fighting. This is Islamic law. I didn't make this up. The first one is if the infidel army that an Islamic army is fighting is about to convert to Islam. Obviously, that's not in play here. The United States might convert to Islam in the future, but right now, we're not about to convert to Islam. Second, the other condition is if you are losing and you need time. You need to buy some time so you can gather your strength to pursue the fight again later more effectively. Those are the only two conditions. There is no concept in Islamic law of making peace with the infidel and living together side by side as equals. As all the idiot politicians always say about the Palestinians, we want a two-state solution, Israel and Palestine living side by side in peace. Why don't they look at what the Palestinians are saying and understand that they will never live with Israel side by side in peace? And as far as Iran goes, it's the same thing. They want they want to talk with the United States, although they broke them off today because Israel attacked Hezbollah. So you either got to surrender, you see, or surrender. But if you fight back, that's no good. And so Iran wanted talks up until then to gather strength to fight again more effectively in the future. That's the only reason why they wanted to sit down. Meanwhile, Trump is thinking, oh, he's going to win the Nobel Prize because he's going to be the first guy to make Iran make peace. Iran will make peace, sure, but they will break the agreement. It will only be temporary, and they will only use it to buy time because they're losing. What we should do is understand that when they say, yeah, we'll talk, yeah, let's make a truce, that's when we should fight all the more to defeat them, because that's an admission, a tacit admission that they are losing.
Do you think the goal of removing the regime is something that can be done at this point? And if America just folds up and says war is over, can we consider this a victory?
No, if the Islamic Republic survives, then they won the war, because then they will just wait and bide their time and gather their strength and then start lobbing the rockets over at Israel again. And there's just no doubt about that whatsoever. If the Islamic Republic remains in power, the U.S. and Israel have lost the war. But the U.S. and Israel don't understand that, and so that is what likely will happen. The Islamic Republic remaining in power will never say, oh, let's be friends. Let's sign an armistice like Nazi Germany and Japan after World War II. And then you can rebuild rebuild Germany and Japan, and we'll all be pals. It ain't never going to happen. This is a 1400-year struggle. This is the jihad that is based on chapter 8, verse 39 of the Quran. Fight them until persecution is no more and religion is all for Allah. Very important statement. Chapter 8, verse 39. Fight them, so we're fighting, until persecution is no more. So they defend themselves against us if we're persecuting them. Okay, fair enough. But then it goes on, and religion is all for Allah. So see, if you're minding your own business and you're not fighting them, you're not attacking them, you're not persecuting them, but your religion is not all for Allah, some guy might come along one day and think he's got to fight you. It's an open-ended declaration of war against non-Muslims for all time. And so for 1400 years of Islam, there has been jihad. I wrote a book in 2018 called The History of Jihad. You can read it, and I got to admit, it's depressing, because there's never a period of peace. There's no peaceful coexistence. It's 1400 years of Islamic advance, and many times very little pushback. They're extraordinarily patient. If the Islamic Republic falls, there will still be people in Iran who think, all right, Allah hasn't given us the victory this time, but we will redouble our efforts to serve him, and we'll fight back, and we'll get back again. We'll restore the Islamic Republic, and we'll pursue the jihad against the infidels yet again. If the Islamic Republic doesn't fall, it'll still be weakened, and after a few years, once they've built themselves back up, then they'll resume the jihad. Doesn't matter how long it takes. They know that Allah has commanded it, and so they have to do it, and that Allah will give them the final victory.